Today we're going to talk about Pompano Beach versus Fort Lauderdale and what you really need to know before moving here. Welcome to our channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale with Kevin Suze.
We're so excited that you're stopping by.
And if this is your first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. We're local realtors. We really love being out and doing our videos. But what we really enjoy more than anything else is helping folks with the real estate decisions and real estate issues. And in the way the market is going nowadays, just kind of help clarify things as best we can for folks. Pompano Beach versus Fort Lauderdale, what you need to know before moving here. Pompano Beach and Fort Lauderdale are probably two of the largest areas around each other. Pompano Beach, where we are right now, the population is around 110,000 right now, and it's made up of about 35 to 38 little neighborhoods. A couple of the things that they share in common is they both actually have areas that are on the beach and on the intercoastal waterway, and then neighborhoods and areas that go further west. Now that's pretty much where the similarities end. Fort Lauderdale goes basically west, almost out as far as Plantation or Davie, and as far south then you get into like Hollywood and Hallandale. But when you go north from Fort Lauderdale, you go to Lauderdale by the Sea, which is kind of the, if you think of that as kind of the crosswalk between Fort Lauderdale and Pompano Beach. And then Pompano Beach goes from Lauderdale by the Sea and goes right into Deerfield Beach. There are things that are somewhat similar, but there's a lot of differences too. One of the biggest things is probably around kind of what's the perception of Fort Lauderdale versus the perception of Pompano Beach. At least for me and some of the folks that I've talked to, especially that are in our age demographic, if you will. I hate to say it like that, but I remember when I was a kid watching movies where Fort Lauderdale was, where the boys are with Connie Francis. You see the Elbow Room was kind of a spring break thing, and it was kind of like both on either ends. It was a spring break place when I was in college, and then it was also a retirement area because my grandparents had actually moved down here back when I was a kid. And one of the greatest times we had was coming down to Fort Lauderdale and hanging out with my grandparents, especially over the holidays where in Virginia we were freezing our buns off, and down here we came down here, I got a nice suntan. Pompano Beach, I think it's more family oriented. Pompano Beach kind of is more, don't get me wrong, there is a lot to do and a lot to see around here from a tourist perspective. I mean, you have, remember the dedication to the pier we went to?
Oh, yes. Dedication to the pier, that was wonderful. We had a big turnout, actually.
Despite the fact that it was threatening to rain and thunder and lightning, but I mean, I just built a beautiful pier here in Pompano Beach. If you check out some of our other videos about Pompano Beach, you can get great pictures of the pier and great visibility of the pier. So Pompano Beach, it has its area of basically tourism and stuff like that, but it kind of ends when you leave the beachfront area, maybe a couple of blocks past that. Whereas Fort Lauderdale, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you can go half a mile to a mile away from the beach and still have a lot of tourism and whatnot. I think also part of that may be Fort Lauderdale's proximity to the international airport. Basically, folks fly in, get off the plane, $5 or $6 Uber ride out to the beach. One of the other things is that Pompano Beach has a lot of community events. There's a nice farmer's market. There's all kinds of festivals that are going on to basically celebrate everybody's heritage, and it's kind of built around family.
They have a lot of art festivals. They have the food trucks. Not too far, they have the Renaissance Festival that isn't too far from here.
True.
It's just right over into Deerfield.
On the side of Fort Lauderdale has, without a doubt, is the largest boat show, probably, if not in the world, at least in this hemisphere.
Right, they do have the International Boat Show.
In October, it's there for a couple of days. You can see anything and everything that you could even imagine in boats, and things that support boats, and things that support those that support the boats.
It's just the industry, right?
That's a great thing. But again, I think Fort Lauderdale kind of has it, at least from our perspective, you either have folks that are retiring down there or folks that are kind of coming down there to hang out and party. Now, that's not to say that people don't party here in Pompano Beach. We've seen it today, for example. We're out hanging out at the beach, and there's a lot of folks that are out here kind of hanging out, enjoying themselves, walking around.
I got great clips this morning. They had a big class of yoga at the beach with an instructor right at the beach, so that's a wonderful place to do that. We see a lot of people bike riding early in the morning and power walking. That seems to be a big thing, but who wouldn't want to power walk right here on the beach? And it's kind of breezy.
They actually have done a great job of kind of keeping things pristine. So you have like a little mangrove area and you have grass areas. This time of the year is big for a couple of things. Number one is the sea turtles. It's become almost like a festival between March and October. They build big nests in the sand and they're big lumps in the sand. And we take a lot of pride and we take a lot of effort into making sure that the little sea turtles, when they go to hatch come October, that basically they have the best opportunity they can to get down to the water. One of the things that you'll see down at Fort Lauderdale Beach seems to be a little bit more laid out and a little bit more regulated, whereas Pompano Beach is kind of it's a little bit more laid back and kind of a little easier to kind of get around and kind of see what's going on. It's just a beautiful day to be down here. There's a couple other things that are kind of neat, at least as far as Pompano Beach versus Fort Lauderdale. Both of them have a lot of what we call bedroom communities or little bedroom neighborhoods. Pompano Beach seems to have a lot of them that kind of jumped up as a result of either folks building it, like John Knox Village, or things that where people kind of got together. They kind of thought it was kind of a cool name, like Snug Harbor. Then you have other ones where a company or a builder kind of got together, they built it up. Things have kind of evolved, but there is a lot of similarity between those different neighborhoods down there. Whereas in Fort Lauderdale, you'll see that the neighborhoods down there are very eclectic. They're very, very diverse. It's almost as if they were set up for a little bit of a different vibe for each one of them. But up here in Pompano Beach, you have a lot of different neighborhoods that are built around what the housing types are. For example, you have Crest Haven, which is basically a lot of single-family homes, mid-sized single-family homes. I think at last check, there's like Crest Haven 10 now, where they've built that stuff up in there. And you can come out to the beachfront, where basically there's a lot of condos and a lot of things there. It's kind of a nice little mixture. Some of the other things about it is that while there's certainly entertainment and restaurants and everything else in both beaches, the restaurants here, there seem to be far more restaurants and entertainment opportunities and options down in Fort Lauderdale than there do up here in Pompano Beach. Now, that's not to say that things haven't been done on Pompano Beach. They've redone the pier, which we talked about, and they put a couple of really, really nice places to go hang out. I mean, in addition to Lucky Fish and Oceanic, which are two of our favorite places to go to, you have the rooftop bar at the Hilton, which is right across the street from the pier, so you can look down over the pier and see what's going on. You also have old-time favorites like Sea Watch and Beach House, consistently fantastic places to go. Then you have some of the newer things like BurgerFi, and then of course, no visit to Pompano Beach would be complete without checking out one of the oldest pubs around, the Briny Irish Pub. They weren't open early enough for us for breakfast this morning, or we would have hit there. I think it's been here since forever, as far as I know. You can kind of see a little bit folks sitting outside and kind of hanging out at Briny's. What you'll see around up in Pompano Beach is you'll see a lot more families that are here that live around here, as opposed to in Fort Lauderdale, where folks are down here on vacation, or they're down here visiting, or they're just down here kind of from a tourist perspective, both of which are great. We love having everybody come down. You can kind of hear the music going on here at Lucky Fish. If you take a look over my shoulder here, you can see the pier going out. So the pier is actually getting kind of crowded. The shape of it is actually like that of a Pompano fish. That makes perfect sense. Pompano Beach, Pompano Fish, and the pier. You can do anything. Go fishing off the pier, sit down and relax off the pier. It's really, really kind of cool. As we kind of continue our stroll down Ocean Highway or A1A in Pompano Beach, one of the things I think that'll become very, very apparent when we show Fort Lauderdale is Fort Lauderdale has a preponderance of high-rise hotels, high-rise condominiums, but what you see is a lot more of the more touristy type places to stop and eat. Don't get me wrong, all the food is great, but you get a little wider variety that is attracting a little bit more diverse and a little bit wider range of folks on Fort Lauderdale than you do here. Up in Pompano Beach, you're going to get places like the Sandbar Snack Place right behind us, which we've actually gone there and gotten burgers before. We're hanging out at the beach with friends. And the other thing is that you'll notice here in Pompano is that like maybe every quarter mile or so, there's toilets and there's sanitation stations and there's places to refresh yourself. And it's just a little bit more laid back than it is in Fort Lauderdale. And I think a lot of that also shows itself in the types of the neighborhoods that are around here. It's just a little bit different vibe that's kind of going on. Some of the folks that we've met out here, they live here. They live in Pompano Beach. They're here full time, or they're property owners that are down here and they've been coming down here for years and years and years. There's no shortage of folks, were born here and have continued to live here and stay here, whereas you see a lot more transient population of folks in Fort Lauderdale. As my brother-in-law Dennis says, it's all good, Kev. It's all good. So we just enjoy everything. We enjoy being out here, kind of showing everybody what's going on. So let's just kind of continue to wander around and see if we can catch up with Sue's.
A nice place where you can rent bikes here. They're electric bikes. Pretty popular, as you can see. They've got all of the units or the bays are out. A lot of people.
Right next to it is like a little exercise station, a little workout station. We've seen folks come here and do this all the time, especially early in the morning like it is now. Up here's Lucky Fish, one of our favorite places to kind of go hang out. It's very relaxing. If you look over my shoulder across the street, you can see the rooftop bar. This is relatively new with the Hilton up here. It actually has its own elevator and its own entrance. Unlike a lot of places, you don't have to be staying a guest at the Hilton restaurant. You can kind of go up there, hang out. We got a great view of the dedication of the Pompano Beach Pier, the Fisher Family Pier, last week, so it was terrific. We kind of snuck back into the area for the private event, so shh, don't tell anybody. I want to kind of give everybody a view of what's going on with the pier. The pier is right across the way from us. You can see some of the new restaurants they put up, Oceanic, and right next to that is Lucky Fish. A couple of places we like to go hang out. If you get an opportunity, come on down, check things out. Let us know your thoughts. Just go ahead and drop a comment in the box and let us know your thoughts. It's the official opening of our Pompano Beach Pier. We got here a little bit early, and we are actually joined by one of our dear friends, Carol, who's actually fighting with her umbrella now. So,
Well,
but anyhow,
might have a little rain shower.
I think we may have a little bit of rain shower coming, so we want to kind of get everybody in real quick. So Carol, step in and say hello.
Hello. Hi, everybody. There I
This is
am.
one of our dear friends and fellow realtors, Carol. So yeah, we're just going to kind of show you around a little bit. We're on the rooftop of the Hilton, right across from the beach. As Sue's pointed out, we're going to get hit with a little bit of rain as we continue our stroll up the boardwalk, as it were. One of the things that you'll notice difference between Pompano Beach and Fort Lauderdale is that Pompano Beach actually has a lot of area that is what you call pre-beach. It's kind of like grassy area where you can bring your kids. You can actually bring dogs. You can do grilling. There's no grilling allowed on the Fort Lauderdale beach, but you can kind of do all kinds of stuff there. We're coming up on a really, really neat little play station for kids. Very well maintained. Very, very nice. Like maybe every half a mile or so. It's kind of a little bit of something for everyone. So it's for the smaller kids, basically, kids 2 to 5 years old. And it's set up by the county, by the city, for folks down around here, and a lot of folks. So it's very popular, and obviously the kids are having a good time. So here we are at Fort Lauderdale Beach. One of the first things you'll notice is obviously a lot more people. It's probably one of the best known beaches here in South Florida. It's everything from back in the 60s when they filmed Where the Boys Are, up to Spring Break, the Elbow Room, Con Murphy's Ocean Bar and Grill. There's just a little bit of everything down here. You can see some incredible sights down here. It's a beautiful beach, and it's very well kept and very well maintained. A lot of folks come here just to kind of get away. Even those of us that live down here, we'll come down here maybe once a month just to kind of hang out, kind of check things out, get a little something different. It's a lot more active than Pompano Beach is. There's also a lot more places you can kind of go to hang out. It's far more cosmopolitan, far more international. From our perspective, it's really kind of nice to have the choice. Some of the neighborhoods around Fort Lauderdale Beach is they have some very, very eclectic neighborhoods with some strange names, like Cooley Hammock or Tarpon River. And then you have Las Olas Isles, which are basically, they're like finger roads that go off of Las Olas Boulevard. And there's some very, very exclusive and very, very expensive homes out there, but there's also some very, very beautiful property out there too. Then you have areas like Victoria Park, which is home to a lot of famous folks. It's home to Chrissy Everett Lloyd, tennis champion. A little further north, but still in Fort Lauderdale area. Coral Ridge, beautiful country club in there, beautiful area around there. There's a lot of little bedroom communities up here. They are a little bit more upscale than some of the ones down at Pompano Beach, but there is something for everybody. There's no shortage of high-rise condos like the one right behind us. Now, as far as Pompano Beach versus Fort Lauderdale Beach, I don't know that one is actually better than the other. I mean, from our perspective, there's aspects of both that we like, and there's aspects of both that we could leave. We could take it or we could leave it. From our perspective, and a lot of the folks we've talked to, it's kind of nice to have the choice. One of the things that's really, really nice is when the high season goes to low season and not a lot of folks are around, traffic isn't really that bad. If you want to spend half a day at Pompano Beach, it's only a 15, 20, maybe 30-minute drive down to Fort Lauderdale. And then further on down, it's only a few minutes drive down to Dania Beach or down to Hollywood Beach. Keep your eyes peeled for videos coming out about Dania Beach and Hollywood Beach and Hallandale. The nightlife down here, there's a lot more of it, and there's a lot more variety in it. Again, it really kind of depends upon what you're looking for. If we'd have to pick a winner, we would basically say they both win. You can walk your dog down here. You can walk along the boardwalk here. You can't take the dog on the beach here. You're not supposed to have alcohol on the beach, but I can pretty much tell you that that one doesn't really stick too well. So you'll see folks bringing coolers and stuff like that. Now, there's a very strict no grilling on the beach. I think a lot of that is due to the preponderance of people that come down here, but I think also a lot of it is there's a lot of kids that still come down here and everything else. Areas that we frequent a lot, mostly because we park in the parking place right behind it. Okay, is a beach place. It's a nice little plaza in here. It's got a Con Murphy's, it's got Hooters, got a couple different places where you can kind of sit up top, kind of look out and see what's going on.
Yeah, there's places where if you break your flip-flops or you need extra sunscreen or sodas, waters, whatever, they've got little tchotchke shops here. So if you forgot it, they have it here, and it's right across from the beach. All you have to do is walk maybe 500 feet.
Yeah, and it's actually when you come out of the elevator from the parking spot, so parking place. So yeah, so it's basically located right there for you.
And you can grab a quick breakfast if you like, or have a relaxing lunch and cocktails.
And as far as, great things to do and great places to go, I mean, in addition to hanging out at the beach where we are today, there are a number of different places to go. Suze, you've been to a couple of them. What do you think?
Oh, well, I've been to the Stranahan House, I've been to the Bonnet House. That was established back in 1920 for South Florida. It's right on the ocean. It's a historical site, one of the oldest homes here. Has a lot to do with the architecture. The original owners were artists from Chicago. Amazing place to go. There's many museums. There's the Swimming Museum.
Swimming Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Swimming Hall of Fame.
There is a fair amount of traffic here down at Fort Lauderdale Beach. It's a bigger area, a lot more stuff going on, a lot closer to the airports. A lot of folks come down here and hang out. But one of the things that's very cool is, in addition to the security folks that are parked at basically almost every corner, kind of keeping an eye on things and making sure that pedestrians don't get whacked. The crosswalks here on this part of A1A, the crosswalks are pretty close together, and the cars are required to stop to let people cross. So if you're crossing, they have little flashing lights in the middle of the crosswalk that basically tell the cars that need to stop and let people go on. It's very, very pedestrian friendly, which is kind of a neat thing. Suze and I don't get down here as much as we'd like to, maybe once a month or so, but it's nice to come down and kind of hang out and see what's going on. It's a lot different than Pompano Beach from the standpoint of the vibe. It's just a whole different vibe, a little bit younger. A lot of things that are going on down here. We hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the comparison. If we had to pick one, we'd pick them both, because they both have things that we like and they both have things that we could do without. But it's always nice to have the choice down here in Fort Lauderdale area. So we hope you found the videos interesting.
Oh, and drop us a line, and until we see you next time, take care.